It's everyone's favorite time of the week when all rock stars, young and old, from all over the world, tune in live to hear me speak. I'm Josafat Emiliano, and I'm your host today. My compadre Miguel's chilling back there next to our logo. Rockstar, welcome. Welcome, 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 Rockstar. This is your show. It's a place where we share powerful stories to inspire you to grow physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and financially. So then you can go and become the rock star of your industry. Officially, Happy New Year, everyone. How's it going? Did you have some good food? Did you celebrate with style? Did you spend it with loved ones? I spent it with some great people. And it was just a great way to say bye bye to 2020 and welcome 2021. Let's see what you got. All right, well, we're going to jump straight in because we have a lot to cover today, and I don't want to take all your valuable time. Well, Miguel has a hot date later on, so I got to get him ready for that. Anyway, besides that, this is episode 14, an epic tale of the Big Five. Let me grab my notes. All right, y'all. And yes, if there's any problems, go ahead and text me. Send me the link or whatever you need to send me. Text me. Um, by the way, if this is your first time, Hey Rockstar is part of the low budget production family umbrella. If you are on Facebook right now, when you get a chance, go to Low Budget Productions, follow them, like them, and there you can find other podcasts that are under this umbrella, other podcasts that will inspire you, educate you, entertain you, empower you. There we go. I like using ease with that. And also, just a quick announcement: if anyone is interested in launching a podcast and don't know where to start, reach out to us. We would love to invite you to be part of our family and grow with us. We got something special coming for you guys later on this month, but I'm not going to say much more until I have more details. All right, I'm looking for my notes right now. Notes for the show. January 7th, 21. Goals. Everyone talks big about goals. I mean, every guru business and they say if you want to succeed, you got to make a plan, you got to set goals, and you got to set them, and you got to go for them. And to me, resolutions basically are goals. Now, I heard someone say earlier today that a year long is kind of too much of a big gap for certain goals, and that's why a lot of people kind of fall out of their plan. They fall out of what they originally wanted to do. Um, and honestly, I have nothing against goals. Goal setting is just, for me personally, it was always hard for me to set something big, and if I didn't reach it with the allotted time, if I didn't get it, I felt defeated or didn't quite. I don't know how to put it, but let's just say setting resolutions for me was basically planning disaster for me. Because it was the cool thing to do, and I'm not. If it works for you, boo, go for it. I'm just saying, me personally, goal setting wasn't the best way for me to get results done, because I would either set them too simple and get them done and be like, all right, there's nothing to motivate me to keep going, or it's too impossible of a feat that I would quit once it got too hard and just reality kicked in. I'm like, why? And then I remember one year, I came up with a plan. I changed my vocabulary. Instead of saying goals, instead of saying resolutions, because basically to me, both resolutions became broken promises. And have you ever broken a promise to someone? It sucks. Have you ever had someone break their promise to you? It sucks. So basically, goal setting is breaking and not doing it is breaking a promise to yourself. So I stopped using resolutions. And for a while, I changed to a different form. As a matter of fact, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that this all was birthed with little bits of Motivation Monday that I would share every Monday. And on one Motivation Monday, I decided to record and usually it's about a minute long bite size. So they're really easy to take in. But this particular time, I decided to record it and set it up on YouTube and then just kind of linked into my Instagram. And it was like a 2 minute, almost 3 minute bite size. And I want to share that with you guys right now. Look at that handsome guy. Look at that. Man, my mustache was fuller back then. It was also less gray. But hey. Let me share with you what happened this year for this Motivation Monday.
Well, hello, Rockstar. Happy New Year. Happy 2017.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to listen up the tie because the parties are over and it's time to start this new year. Now, this Motivation Monday is a little different. First off, we're doing this on YouTube, and so we are going to do it a little bit longer, but not too much longer than Instagram. Well, let's just get into my thought for you guys this day or New Year. You know, I guess what everyone's talking about right now is New Year's resolutions and what you plan to do, what your goals are for this new year. And I did away with that simply because every time I wouldn't complete with my goals, I felt, defeated. I felt like I wasn't keeping up with my word. And then one year I had a aha moment. Instead of saying resolutions, I now say affirmations. For example, instead of saying this year I'm going to lose, weight, I would look in the mirror and said, you are a fat burning machine. Your body is healthy. You make wise and healthy decisions. Your body has to burn fat. Instead of saying this year I'm going to make so much money, I would say something like, I am wealthy. I have all my needs met, and I can always find provision. So my encouragement to you is not to make goals to meet, but to start proclaiming what you want in life. That's called affirmations. Speak what you want in your life. So do these things, and you will have the best week. No, you will have the best year you have ever had. So I speak nothing but much love and many blessings for you this year, 2017.
Much love and many blessings is what I want for you, my friend. Much love and many blessings.
Wow, 2017
is what I pray.
Go out there and own 2017.
My
like
friend.
Rockstar that you are.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong. That year, a lot of good things happened for me. And I do stand by the power of your words. Deep down, I think everyone's prophetic. You speak, you got to believe first, and then you speak what you believe. And you can bring at least your actions, or not your actions, at least your attitude will start kind of listening. Your subconscious, you got to say it enough time for your subconscious to finally start believing it, and then kind of aligning everything else in your steps going that way. So affirmations were a big thing for me. And of course, being of a spiritual background, a Judeo-Christian background, I use the Bible as a book of wisdom with a lot of good promises that can be converted into affirmations. For example, one of my favorite scripture writings is rejoice not against me, O my enemy, for though I fall, I will rise again. For though I dwell in darkness, God will be my light. And so that affirmation, that verse I took, that promise, I took it and I turned into an affirmation. I would start saying stuff like, if I fall, I will rise again. If I am darkness, God is my light. I would use those, and that gave me such a positive feel, such a powerful feel too. And that was a good way to change it. But moving on, after that year of just a lot of different things, a lot of changes, a lot of growth. I think actually that's the year that I actually started working for TPAC, right? Yeah, because I worked for him for 3 years, so 2017, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so that was the year that TPAC hired me on, and well, that was great growth. And also shortly afterwards, I got my own place. Nothing against having roommates. I just really find the value in having a place where I can be as loud as I need to or as quiet as I need to be. But anyway, towards the end, I wanted more. I did hit a spot where I felt like I just needed to advance as an individual, as a person, and more particular as a man. I've had some victories, but not like the victories I see other people, other gentlemen. So in my thirst, in my hunt and search for wisdom and growth, I found a book that cost about $100. But one thing that I learned from investors and mentors is if there's anything you want to invest in, you need to invest in your education. And to me, oh, actually, I think it was around that time when I found, I believe it was Ty Lopez with the 67 steps or something like that. And one of the things he says is you need to be willing to invest in your education and mostly books. And when I saw this book, the Warrior book, and I thumbed through it, it was $100, but I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't mind. If this thing will give me some insight and help me grow and help me take me to the next level, then I want it. And it kind of is like it's really kind of like a Bible by chapters and verses. The author of this book has a Christian background too. So, but I'm not gonna bore you with all the details. But it was a good change of scene for me. See, he argued that, and of course he had a special niche audience. His niche was to married business entrepreneur men. And that's who he was targeting audience. Now, eventually, women were allowed into his groups because they are like, "Hey, we like your stuff too. We want to use it for our business." And he goes, "Go ahead," and he did cater to them. But the book was written for the dudes, not to be sexist or anything. But I mean, I'm a single guy, so I don't really right now. I'm not trying to build someone else up. I needed to work on me, and I'm a dude. But anyway. And I started watching a lot of his videos and a lot of his trainings alongside. I even paid for. I subscribed to the daily podcast. Well, it was before it went free, but he had it when he was sending off these tidbits of information, of stories, of life stories, and bringing out life examples that he would learn, given through what he used and practices in his thing. But anyway. Don't want to bore you with all those details. Basically, he said that a man can have it all, or a person can have it all. The problem is there are four basic pillars that a person wants to succeed in, and they break it down into B's. One's being your body, one's being your balance, one's being your oh man. I forgot the third one right now because I changed the name of it. And then the last one being your business. You know what? Let me look it up because I don't want to misquote. Actually, it's your body, your being, your balance, and your business. Those three B's. Now, the body, of course, work on the physical, and he has some great advice on how to create strength. But basically, his argument was that at least in men, they tend to work hard on building one or two of these pillars at the sacrifice of the others. For example, you could be rich with your business, but then your family and your health might be struggling, or even your spirituality. Or another thing he says, or you can be very very spiritual and such a balances with your family, balanced lifestyle with your family, and you have a good healthy family, but you can't pay the bills because your business is gone or your body is deteriorating because you're not taking care of yourself. You know, he said some people they go on these extremities, and his argument was you need to put into all four pillars. You need to pour into each one little by little, and then every day. Actually, they have a cute saying in the morning. Getting up early and taking care of your business. Putting into these four areas. He says you got to hit your four before you hit the door. Do the 4 before you hit the door. Before you start your day, you've already taken care of your physical or your body, your being, which is your spiritual, your balance, your family by sowing love and knowing their love language, all that stuff, and of course, then making a plan on how you want to build your business. But there's so much more in that book. I'm really oversimplifying it. To say that's where I started, and I started practicing. As far as my spirituality, my family, and my body, I had laxed on. I had kind of let go of the little things, so I started getting back into that discipline. But the one thing that I did struggle, I had a great job. I was learning how to balance. I had a great budget, and I was doing good, but I wasn't creating a business. I wasn't an entrepreneur, and that was bugging me at the time too. It's like, man, this guy was well. First of all, he was catering to married entrepreneurs, and I was neither married nor an entrepreneur. And I'm like, I'm not sure this is really meant for me, but I wanted that success. I wanted to grow. I wanted to build something as opposed to these other guys. So in my and then I realized, you know what? I don't need to be married. That's not needed. But I mean, I did start dating more and whatever, eventually. But anyway, but the one thing that bugged me is like, but I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't have a business idea. I'm not trying to launch anything. And so I decided, well, let's get that situated. Let's work on that area. And I started researching and learning more and finding videos of entrepreneurs and getting their advice and seeking how to start a business, how to run a business, learning all that stuff. And, honestly, I kind of was a business because I did work as a independent contractor. So that kind of was my own business, but not the kind that he was focused on. You create something that also provides employment for others or provides for other people, not just work for myself to get money. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to take too much time because this is the story. This is the epic tale on the Big Five. I started learning things about other entrepreneurs, and they all had their cute little sayings and their cute little focuses. For example, one, this guy who has amazing cars, he always talked about, in the end, you need to focus on the excellence, work or seek excellence in every area of your life, whether it is your physical, your business, your relationships. You seek the excellence, and like that was good. And another guy that I listened to was talking about, first of all, he's like, just simplify the 3 things. You need to focus on getting your body in shape, like make the muscle, and focus on making the money so that then you can do whatever you want. And then you focus on, they call it game, like your inner game and your outer game, your relationship and all that stuff. And, I understood and I liked what they had to go. And I started just grabbing ideas from everyone and trying to figure out what is this? What is this? What do I want to do? And how can I apply it to me? How could I? And then just as it was starting to make sense, the Rona hit. The fun thing that happened, 2020 hit. And everything just kind of went down from there. But I still had in my heart, I need to work on something. I need to work on bettering me. I've always, I'm not sure I ever shared this with you guys. I once had an idea to write a book. And in this book, I was going to call it So Long, Mr. Nice Guy. But there's actually a book now called that. And I'll tell you the story behind that. Man, so many stories. This girl at church, one time I introduced her to a lot of people, made friends for her, connected her with other people. And she looked at me and she goes, "You're such a nice guy." And I looked at her and I'm like, "No, I'm not." It's because I had a bad relationship with that word, nice guy. And she kind of took offense. She goes, "Well, then what are you? What are you?" And I looked at her and I looked down, thought about it a moment, and I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm a good guy." And she's like, "Well, what's the difference?" Like, well, honestly, when I was a nice guy, I was very manipulative. I was acting nice. I was doing nice things in hopes that you would return niceness to me. And then whenever you didn't, well, then I felt betrayed or whatever. It was very middle school way of thinking. And she goes, "All right, well, what makes you a good guy?" Like, well, good goodness has nothing to do with how you treat me. Goodness is already within. You see, my inner game is strong. I have poured into myself. I have learned to put value into me. So no matter how you respond, I will be good because inside me is already good. So what comes out is the fruit of who I am, not of who or how you treat me. And she goes, ooh. And then that idea in the book, I wanted to explain my little theory and then start showing different areas where you can start building value, working on your inner game, become a better version of yourself kind of situation. And that's kind of how my Instagram started. It's all about a lot of things, but in the book I was going to focus on maybe 10 areas that you can pour into your life. But then as I started making my little minute videos, I realized I have a lot of little things that I'm just kind of picking and pouring into me and changing. And I'm not doing anything major. I'm just doing something smaller. And I'm like, well, you know what? We need to condense this. We need to focus this. What areas do you really want to work? And I like the body being balance and business, but there was another area in my life where I learned those exact same words, but in a different tone. It was physical, spiritual, mental, social. Well, actually, body being balance, business would be financial. And so, except it missed out on that fifth one, the financial. And those were, that has to do with my childhood and in what I grew up in a code that I had that we're to grow physically, spiritually, mentally, socially. And I went ahead and throw it in financially because that's something that I'm interested in. And all of a sudden I'm like, hey, 5. And most of you guys know that I like odd numbers. And boom, we got the cool logo right there. 5. These are 5 areas that I want to better myself. Now, the easiest one to explain on the way I do things is the physical. First one, physical. A while back, I had this thought. And I started doing this, actually, it was at least 10 years ago. I decided, I didn't have that much of upper body strength. And I said, I'm going to start a goal. And for the first week, every day for the first week, was it a week? I said, I'm going to do 1 push-up every day. And I did. I did 1 push-up. The next week, I did 2 push-ups every day. Actually, no, I jumped. I went. And then when I went to 5, and I did it for 5 days or something like that. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. I wrote it down somewhere in a journal, but my journals are in a box in storage. And I didn't want to go through it, but I believe that here's what it was. For the first 5 days, I was going to increase till I did 5. So on let's just say Monday, I did 1 push-up. Tuesday, I did 2 push-ups. Wednesday, 3 push-ups. Thursday, 4 push-ups. On Friday, I was doing 5, and I realized that I was struggling. So I decided that week to only do 5 push-ups every day for a week. And then when I reset Monday, I jumped to 10. I did 10 push-ups every day for the week. And then the following Monday, I jumped by 5 increments of 5. Or I went to 15, and then I went to 20, and eventually 25. And eventually I got to a point where I was doing 75 push-ups every day. And I was like, this is amazing. This is pretty cool. But then I don't know. I was just thinking about there was another book, and I was geeking out, and I was trying to learn everything about physical, how I can become a better version of myself, how I can work out, how, just to be more. And I found another book by Dr. Duffy called Body by Science. And he had an interesting theory saying that the body is kind of like an elevator. You push the button, you can keep pushing that same button, but the elevator is not going to move any faster. It's going to come to you. That 1 push was enough to activate the results that you wanted for that elevator to move to come to you. And he goes, a lot of us working out, we overdo it, and sometimes we do damage to ourselves because we're thinking that the more we do, the more we push that button, the faster results. But the truth is, just doing that 1 button good, just pushing it once, but doing it the right scientifically way, that will actually give you better results, better benefits than doing the button a lot of times. And so I tried his workout, and I saw results. I started getting stronger by doing less. And that was that was change. That was mind changing. But then the whole push-ups got back to me. I thought to myself, and talking to other people, I remember a buddy of mine. He said that his dad was a janitor at I think his dad was a janitor at a school for like 30 years or something. And he goes, and all he really did was just with a window washer, he would wash windows every day. The little squirt gun. Sometimes trade up. He'll trade the hands and he goes, but he said at the end though, after those 30 years, his dad, when you would shake his hand, he had a death grip by doing something simple every day. Something that didn't text you out, but just kept you strong. And then I started talking to farmer friends, and I'm like, you guys are strong, and you don't go to the gym or anything. You just do the same repetitive weightlifting, throwing hay over or whatever. They work on the same things, but they're some of the strongest people because they repeat the same exercise daily. Their body's conditioned. Their body is strengthened to it. And so I kind of share this idea with. Whenever I talked to Lily back in that episode, I told her that I had a 25-pound kettlebell. And the reason I have this, I have two of them actually, because I've developed every morning now, I have my little routine where I do so many push-ups, so many squats, and I use the kettlebells to work on my shoulders, to do some shoulder presses, and also work on my back. It's not much weight. It's weight that I can do, but I want to do it every day. And I do rest on the weekends, or at least Sundays. I don't work out, but it's the hope is, because you think about it. Let's just say I do 10 push-ups. Yeah, all right, cool. But if you do 10 push-ups every day for 1 year, at the end of the year you would have done 3,650 push-ups. Your body's bound to change somewhat by all that action, and so. That's how I focus on my big five. To me, it's no longer about doing these big things, but yet being faithful in doing simple things that will give me a greater result at the end of the year. So as far as the physical, as far as my diet plan and just being faithful, I'm not doing anything overexertedly, but I am changing the way I eat. Right now, actually, my church is doing a fast right now, so which is perfect because I've been wanting to cut sugar and breads. Breads are my love language. You have no idea. I love bread. But after the fast ends, I plan to go on with as little as possible bread and sugar as I possibly can and eat healthy, eat wholesome, eat better. I don't want to say I'm going to be keto, but it will be more keto kind of. At least less carbs in my fruits and vegetables, the lesser side of that. But anyway, but just be faithful. It started with one day, eat clean. All right, cool, good for you. Next day, eat clean. My victory is that day. Did I do what I needed to do? Did I continue with that discipline? And then the next, so now you get it. That is how I'm changing my game. Resolutions to goals, or goals to resolutions to affirmations. Those are good. I have written down. I haven't said, but I'm also going, and now I'm working on breaking it down and giving myself little disciplines that I can focus on to continue on every day faithfully, knowing that at the end of this year, or heck, in the end of this week, I'm going to celebrate. If I'm faithful every day at the end of this week, I'm going to celebrate it. And then next week, and then next week, and just keep going 1 week at a time. And when I finish 52 weeks being faithful to what I'm doing, I know there's going to be changes. That's the physical. The spiritual. As far as the spiritual, hold on, let me pull this up. I did mention that I was going to say hi to some people. Actually, I'll give you guys a shout out after this. Yeah, let's move on with the disciplines. Physical, spiritual. Spiritual. I was going to bring out all my books for you guys, but I guess I didn't take it out. All last year and the year before, I got into the habit of just listening to the Bible, different translations. At night when I go to sleep, I love listening to it, because there's a promise that says faith comes by hearing, Now, I get it. Most people are like, well, you got to read it. Like, no, I do read it. But if you're not reading it out loud, then technically you're not doing that promise to its full potential. You got to listen to it. Let it come into you. Let it. And so, to me, the easiest way to listen to is through. And actually, this was when I went to Bible school. I had a professor who he said, "Well, you guys need to read the entire New Testament before this semester ends." And like we're like, "Whoa!" Most people don't do that in a lifetime. And he goes, "Don't worry, I'll let you guys use audio Bibles." And he gives a website at the time, and we listened to it, and that actually became easier for me because I could have it on as I'm working on other homework, but I'm still listening to it. I'm subconsciously listening to it, and it became a good practice of listening, but also part of my spirituality. And this was something that I got from this guy. He talked a lot about meditations. Now, again, and actually Lily and I talked about meditations. Now, meditations is not so much about going and going to another universe and letting whatever, because the fear of the Judeo-Christian is when you open up your mind, you allow anything to come in. And I get that, but at the same time, there's a promise that says that if I have confessed it, that Jesus is the Son of God, then God abides in me. Now, also, I know that where God is, evil cannot abide. Where if He promised to be in me, then even when I go, nothing bad is going to come in me because there's no room for it. Because my God's already kind of occupied that space. Anyway, again, I am not here to discuss anything. That is just part of my belief because of how I've learned to listen and learn to the promises. And that's another thing. I call them promises, everything in the Bible, because there's another promise that says all His promises are not yes and maybe, but yes and amen. And so if they're yes, then that means that they are all, and they're for me, that I can call on them, claim on them, remind them, hey, you promised this. And even He promised that He is not a man that He should lie, nor a son of a man that He should change his mind. If He spoke, then He will act. He has blessed. And of course I'm rewriting, or not rewriting. I'm saying it as to highlight the part, because the actual scripture is, God is not a man that He should lie, nor the son of man that He should change his mind. Has He not spoken and did not act? Has He not, or He has commanded to bless? God has blessed, and I cannot reverse that. Even that is a promise that no matter what I can do, I cannot reverse the blessing that God has structured. Anyway, I'm not here to preach to you guys. I'm just saying that's how my faith has gone. Part of my spiritual discipline after the meditation, because you know what I like to do in meditation, I'm just going to let you know, is I'll actually be like, all right, God, I have so many questions, but right now, I'm just like, I have to learn to silence my thoughts, silence my mind, because my mind is full of crazy ideas. My mind is full of stresses and all these things. It's just a loud noise, and I have to learn to just kind of silence it. And then once I feel 5-10 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes that I'm good, they're like, all right, God, what do you have for me? And usually some amazing things start flowing in, some great ideas, some valuable things, or just words of love. It's a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful practice. It's something that's taken me a long time to get. It's been part of my journey in trying to become mentally tough, mental strength. But that's part of my spirituality. Also develops a lot with well, actually that's more my mental, but my spirituality also has a lot to do with simplification of my faith. Do we have time for that? Oh man, I've already been jabbering for 40 minutes. Don't want to take them. All right. Well, no, you know what? I'm just gonna have to make another video for my faith journey. Oh, that's gonna be a good one. Physically, spiritually, mentally. Well, I kind of shared with mental with the meditation, but it's also about reading. I've learned that I like to read biographies. I like to read enlightening things. I like to read and listen to people who speak life into me, or just speak life. I focus on positive people. And now, again, I'm not trying to be all positive because I know life is full of negativity. Because what I even shared a meme, like a battery with two positives has no energy. You need a positive and a negative for a battery to have results. And part of my story with my life is a piano. The lesson I learned there is you need both the good and bad, because the good helps you when you're going through the bad, but the bad also helps you appreciate and value the good moments. And so you need both of them to tell your story. You need both of them to succeed. You need both. I don't want to say the yin and the yang, but you need both good and bad experiences, positive, negative, to become who you are, to become the rock star of your industry. But use those negatives. Don't use those negatives to cripple you. Use those negatives to strengthen you, to move on to the next level, to level up, to push up physically, spiritually, mentally, socially. This place is part of my social. And people are like, well, there's no one there, Jose. See, I've learned that to become a better person to others, I need to take care of myself. And I can only do that in the quiet place. I can only do that away from the noise and the influence. I've learned to take care of this relationship. Because I found out that when this is taken care of, everything else, no matter how different, how weird, how contradictory, how just everyone is different from me, there's a promise. I'm going back to my promises. And I'm going to translate this. It's there, but most people have always read it differently. The promise says that if you are in the light as he is in the light, then we have perfect fellowship with one another. Now, it's always been read, well, because he's in the light, you need to seek the light. You need to be a moth and go after the light. And kind of, okay, so I need to work hard to become light or find myself in the light so that I can have perfect fellowship. But then once my lens changed, once I started listening to more messages of grace, not so much works, I read that scripture differently. It was no longer telling me I have to be. It's basically saying, but you got to understand, if you are in the light, because he's in the light, and the promise is he has exchanged with us because of what Jesus did, I can now be like him. So the way I now read that, he's no longer saying you need to look for the light. You need to work for the light. But basically, he's just like, hey, I just want to let you know, because of what Jesus did, you're now in the light. Just a reminder, you are in the light already. Just by believing, you are there. So because of that, the promise is you will have perfect fellowship with others, with one another. Oh my gosh, that totally changes everything for me. I can go to anyone of any faith and have a good conversation, a decent conversation, not be like I don't have my guard up, because there's no need for me to have my guard up, because I've been promised perfect fellowship. Don't get me wrong, there's people who they just want to give you a hard time, and you know what? God bless them. I love you. Carry on, but I won't give you any more of my time, because my time is very valuable. And that's what I've learned also, by adding value to myself. I've learned that I can't just give my time away to everyone, because again, I'm not a people pleaser anymore. There's another scripture, like, if I'm a people pleaser, then I am worthless to serve God, because I can't serve God and be a people pleaser. Paul said that. Anyway, physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, financially has been the toughest. I mean, just when I was getting my act together, just as I was working on erasing my debt, just as things were, I actually had money saved for about 6 months. You know, I was doing all the Kiyosaki things, and I actually like things I learned from his book, Robert Kiyosaki, as opposed to the Dave Ramsey about plastic surgery kind of situation. You know, I read them all and learned them all, but like, oh wait, what do I want to apply? Because he calls all debt bad. The truth is, there's good debt and there's bad debt. I had to educate myself in that. I had to learn what the difference is. But just when I was learning this thing and starting to develop healthy financial habits, this happened. And I could get mad, and I could be like, oh, I'm thankful that I had the cushion to help me out for as long as it did. And I'm still afloat. until I was able to find a new work. But I realized I wasn't as ready as I thought, because I was doing just enough to look good financially, but I wasn't taking these other risks. I wasn't seeking other streams of income. I was just trying to enjoy what I was doing, although it was good work, it was fun work, but and so now I've had to rechange my game plan. And as I was looking for work, and this is my advice I have to a certain friend who we talked about money issues earlier this month. The first thing I had to do is I had to humble myself. I stopped trying to find a career in a job. That's what other people are doing. I tried it. It didn't work for me. But instead, I said, all right, I need to find something that I'm good at. I can be a benefit to them, and it's enough to cover my basic necessities. And I found it. I found a great job right now working at a medical lab. I'm not going to get too much in details, but right now I'm just a runner for them. But they also want me to start doing some side marketing work, which will get some residual income for me. Hey, that's a skill that I was studying during the whole staying at home. I learned marketing skills and sales skills and other skills, and so I have that. I'm going to start working on the marketing to add extra income. This is actually a pleasure project for me. I enjoy hosting this show. I enjoy bringing in people to talk to. Now, if I can make money off of this, awesome. But I'm not trying to. But I am using this to market myself as a speaker, because I'm working on launching my public speaking business. There's other areas that I see. I have a little work that I'm good at, I'm comfortable doing, that will pay the bills for now while I am growing this. And there's some other avenues. And now I'm looking the weekends to do gigs with my voice as a voiceover. I still do the acting such. As also a cinematographer, I do have that skill as a camera operator. And there's people who are constantly asking for people who can work certain gigs. I did a few music videos not too long ago. It's cool because I can do those, but I still have my stable work on Monday to Friday, and then like evenings or weekends, I can use it to bring it in. But once the money comes in, of course, I'm using it to pay off the bad debt that I accumulated. But at the same time, I'm not using it all for that. I'm splitting it in half because I want to start investing in some other things that I've been learning about, and convert it, the bad debt, with the hopes of converting it into good debt that will bring interest, that will bring income. Anyway, guys, little things. I'm faithful to my job. I'm doing a good job. I'm going out there. I have my positive. My employees love me. My employers love me. They said that I have a gentle spirit, and I thank them because there's such a peace. Because I'm not totally dependent on them for my life. They're covering the basics, so I'm not gonna get kicked out of the house, and I'm not gonna lose my car anytime soon. Thank God for that. But for the other stuff, I'm gonna start pulling from creativity and going back to my meditation. I'm always constantly saying, all right, God, teach me today how I can be creative to create wealth. Because there's a promise. Ask him, and he'll give you the secrets of the universe. But you got to believe. When you ask him, ask as though you are going to believe that he's going to answer you. Anyway, guys, I just shared to you how the Big Five came, and it was an epic tale to where I'm getting to. I'm so excited. I go to bed. And when I wake up excited because this day I'm going to do a lot of things. This year, I'm going to do a lot of things. Whoo! Let's see who's on. Joe Sanchez, fellow Rockstar, faithful, and LBP co-founder. Mac. Guys, check out this guy's channel. But be warned. It's almost like when you went to Will's channel, Vin Trefels. Small Town Texas Barbecue. He's got some good meats on that one. Some good stuff. Maybe if you're fasting, don't do it. Thank you. Hey, Abby. Saludos. I remember that one time when you guys came to Texas, or came to visit me, and well, you didn't come visit me. You came to visit your family, your wife's family in Dallas, and I hung out with you guys. Si vienen para Nashville, aquí estamos, pasándola bien. Oh, another thing. Most of you are probably wondering, Josafat, why are your Christmas decorations still up, dude? It's like a week after the New Year. Chill. Let me educate you guys in a little bit of Latin American culture. It's a tradition to celebrate, or I think it's the 6th of January, which was yesterday. They have a thing called Dia de los Reyes Magos, which is when 3 wise kings left to seek out Jesus. Anyway, it's on that day where kids get extra candies and toys and as little gifts, and also they share this bread, this really good bread with a lot of tamales. But I didn't have bread; I had tamales because I'm on that fast. And normally, traditionally, I wait till after the weekend after that date before I take down my decorations. This weekend, though, I'm gonna help take down decorations on my parents' house, but I'm gonna try to get it down before next show, and then you guys can have the same Rockstar vibe that we always have. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to this extra long show. Gracias a todos por escuchar. Mis padres, que yo sé que me están escuchando desde Andrews America. Los quiero mucho. I'll probably call them right after the show just to see how things are going. Everyone, this year, if goals are your thing, do it. Resolutions are your thing, do it. Affirmation, your thing, do it. But let me encourage you. Try it this year. Break it down and come up with habits, disciplines that you can focus on daily, every morning. I mean, for example, waking up at 5 in the morning has become a discipline for me now. And I hit that on either that fits on the physical, on the spiritual, even on the financial, because I feel like it gives me so much more time in the day, in the morning to do stuff, and it sets me up for what I need to do later. Just try to work on being faithful. Remember, motivation is the sexy, but discipline will get you to the sexy. Anyway, don't want to take much more time, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. All the way from Nashville to your homes, to your cars. From my Rockstar heart to your Rockstar heart. Josafat Emiliano and Miguel saying much love and many blessings. Happy New Year, Rockstar.